Hey guys, it's Alana. I don't know how to intro this video. Basically, sorry if you can hear that. I'm talking to a friend currently. Okay. Sorry, brain shut off. I am filming a February reset because I need a video that I can kind of I know how it's going to go and I can be a little creative about how I film it, but this one's not very creative because I kind of thought about it last second. Tickle in my throat, dang. I don't know if you can tell, but I dyed my hair yesterday, so it's darker than it was in all of the other clips probably. There might be a few more clips soon, but since before today, it's darker than all of that. We're gonna pretend that made sense and just ignore it. Basically, I wanted to film a reset because I needed one and I wanna film it, basically. Those are my only reasons. I'm filming with this background because my room's a mess. So this was the nicest way I can do it without showing you what my room looks like currently. I plan on cleaning it later today or tomorrow. I'm also going to a coffee shop with a friend to get some work done, so that's the only reason I say it could possibly be tomorrow. I need to answer my friend before I continue, so I'm going to stop this and then I'll get into I'll start with my bullet journal and then I'll go from there. So I texted my friend. I don't know if she'll text back, so I may have to cut this a few times to answer her because I don't want to leave her hanging. But basically, this is my bullet journal. I don't know if I filmed anything with it specifically for the new year because, to be honest, the new year didn't go as planned. So everything that I planned kind of went awry. So yeah. Also, speaking of, when I get into the goals, you're gonna see I did basically nothing for January, but you know what? It was a year, or it was a month. So basically, I did my February bullet journal spreads. They're very simple. I always do very simple spreads because although I'm very creative, if I try and do something, or I feel like I'm very creative, if I try and draw something or something like that and it doesn't work out, I won't use my bullet journal, and my bullet journal also is the only way I get things done sometimes. So I need it to be simple so that I don't hate it, and also so that I do it and make it, because I have to make it every month, and if I make it very complicated, then I won't do the month, and then I feel guilty, and I don't want to feel guilty with this thing because I've been doing it for 8 years now. I know what works. So basically, I do something really simple. I'm sure you saw some of this, and I'm very sorry about the lighting. I kind of forgot that because of the window and the time I did it, the sun is very erratic at that time of the day, so it was probably very bad lighting. But basically, I do tabs so that it's very easy to get around, and then I have my monthly set up after the first intro page. Then usually I put the goals here. I have not written them down yet because I don't know, I haven't, so I'll probably write them down so you can kind of see that as I'm talking about them instead of just talking about them without any, just like this, if that makes sense. And then on the other side, I plan on putting assignments and habits next to each other because I realized this helped in November of last semester to have all of my assignments written down here so that I can also cross them off here as well as on my whiteboard calendar and my Notion. I know it seems like a lot, but when I get to cross off one item 3 times, it makes me feel like I'm actually progressing. So if you need more ways of thinking that you're progressing and you're struggling with only one way of crossing something off, try putting them 3 different places. Yes, it takes more time in the setup, but it helps me in the long run because I feel like I'm actually doing something don't know, that might be an issue that I need to talk to someone about. But then also habits, I have not written any of them down yet because I want them to go along with my goals for the year, but also for the month, and I need to do more planning, to be honest. Then I have the very simple spreads that I have been doing for the last like 2 years or something like that, and it's just basically the day at the top and then it's split down the middle so that I have all of this room to do to-dos. I technically don't need all of this room anymore because I only put task list, and usually it takes like half the page, if that. So I don't know, maybe in March I can do some brainstorming and seeing if I want to do something different for my weekly setups. And yeah, basically that's the rest of the bullet journal setup. Now that I'm done explaining this, I think I'm going to go on to a different segment, and at this point I don't know what it is. I need to look at my laptop. So yeah.
Such a shame you had to meet me on a day like this. I think I've gone insane, crossing names right off my drop dead list. They won't be missed. And my turning sour used to be so sweet. If confidence is power, then it's all in me. I feel it taking over up and under my skin. Usually a baddie, but today I'm just bad. I'm so bad. I'm the one who lit the match and walked away. All your little bridges burning down in flames. I'm so bad. You should leave. Don't wanna hear the things I'm about to say. I used to bite my tongue, but I don't think we're better off that way. In shades of gray. I feel it taking over up and under my skin.
This might be more of a jump cutty video. I feel like I kind of always have a jump cutty video, but I plan on this year being a time where I experiment more. I also want to just put out more just because I love doing this. I just realized that I get really in my head about it. Also, I struggle to stare at myself in cameras or while editing, but I'm working on it, and I know some of my, like, there are 2 really good friends that get on me about not ever uploading, and so I'd like to apologize to those very good friends because I know I never upload, but also I don't know why I'm making excuses. I just never do. But basically, I'm trying, so let me just say that. And then, but now I want to talk about what happened this month basically, and just kind of reflect on this past month and maybe talk a little bit about what I want to bring into February. And so I have a few questions that I answered that I'm going to, it'll depend, like I have to censor some things because I'm not giving you my whole life to you, but basically I have a question, what went well this month, and basically I feel like I kept up with most of my assignments. I know it was the first month, but I feel pretty good about that. And also, like I finished organizing my assignments, so that makes me feel good. So that's that question. what challenges did I face this month and how did I deal with them or overcome them? The biggest thing was working the front desk at my mom's school. I was really nervous about it because I've never done that specifically, and also given the fact that it's an elementary school, there's some things that were a bit scary about that. I'm not going to go into details, but basically I feel good because I did it first of all, and it got me out of my comfort zone, which is really nice and scary, but also I think it's good for me. So yeah. What did I accomplish this month? Organizing my assignments felt like a good accomplishment, keeping up with them so far, and also working when I could at that school, and just the fact that I worked up front was really nice. Another question was, what was something I didn't have time for this month? To be honest, I had time. I really did. I just didn't make the time, and basically I think this is an excuse, but also I'm going to put it there just because I feel like I didn't have time, even if, like, I technically did. I'm not saying I didn't, but working out, I really want to get into a routine with that, but I haven't yet, and so that's something that's going into February. Where did I spend most of my money? To be honest, it was yesterday, which is January 27th, if you're curious. I ended up buying a skincare product, hair dye, and I went out with a friend of mine, so it was kind of a more expensive day. I also got groceries and things like that, so it kind of all added up. Technically, there were some other things that were more expensive, but I'm very lucky that my parents love me and are willing to spend that kind of money on me. And so, like, rent of course was pretty expensive, but they're very nice and are helping me while I'm in college and things like that. And then also my teeth, because I've been dealing with my teeth for over 10 years now, and they're willing to spend. Basically, I'm missing 2 teeth, and I'm working on getting the implants, and there was a very expensive bill that had to be paid, and I'm very lucky that my parents are willing to do that for me. Another question was, what life lesson did I learn this month? To be honest, I didn't think that hard about it, so I don't have one. What is something I wish I did differently? Basically is the thing I wish I did differently was keeping up with my routines when I got back to the apartment, because I really struggled when I first got here, just feeling really down and numb, and I know routines make me feel better, so I wish I got back to them sooner, and also just keeping up with them in general. Like, there were multiple times where I went to bed really late. Also, when I said really late, it was really late for me, not for most people, because 10:30, really late for me. To some of my closest friends, 10:30 is like very early, and 2 a.m. might be really late, but anyway. And I made these routines so that I'd stick with them, and then I just didn't. So this next month, that's another thing that is a goal, actually sticking with these routines that I made, because I think they're really good. I don't think it's like I'm setting myself up for failure. I think it's more I've been not following them just because it's easier to sit on my phone or my iPad. So then, how did I take care of myself this month? Part of me wants to say I didn't. I rested when I felt like I needed to, but also that got to a point where I probably didn't need to, and I continued resting. I dyed my hair because it made me feel good. So I guess that was something. What is something fun that happened this month? Talking to some of my good friends over FaceTime, seeing some of, to be honest, this month has been really long, so I completely forgot. One of my best friends and I, before I got back here and she went to college, we baked some cookies and watched the Eras Tour movie, which was really fun. Hanging out with Jess yesterday and going out to dinner and dyeing my hair was fun. There's a few things. The main thing is hanging out with my good friends and also seeing my parents, which happened at the very beginning of this month because before whoa, before I came back here, sorry, my eyelash poked me in the eye. What will I focus on next month? And basically working out and actually following my routines. There's some other goals that I want to actually work on, but I haven't thought about them that heavily yet. Okay, so now I would go into goals, but I feel like I need to do some more thinking before I do that, because I want to go into like my yearly goals and figure out what makes the most sense. I want to do some more planning and things like that. So I'm gonna stop there for now, and I will go into maybe my TBR for February and the books I read in January. Now I'm going to talk about the books I've read this month. There haven't been a lot of books, but there have been a good amount of very long books. So basically, so far I've read 5 books. It is Saturday, January 28th, I believe? No, 27th. So yesterday was 26th. When I said the 27th was yesterday, I lied. So I've read 5 books this month. They've all been really long. I'm currently reading one that I'll probably finish either tonight or tomorrow, to be honest, because I'm like 50% of the way through and I started it Thursday. And I have done a lot of reading, to be honest. And I really like it so far. So there's a good chance I'll finish it before the month goes up. That's not real words, but we're gonna pretend it was. I also have to probably take a break from filming after talking about my books so that I can eat and head out. So anyway, the first book I finished, and technically this book I started in December, but I'm counting it in January because I finished it in January. And it's Icebreaker by, you know what, I'm not going to say the authors. I might put up the picture of the book if I remember about it, because I can't think. I'm just going on my Storygraph account and basically figuring out what, like, some of the details about the book without, oh my gosh, why can't I think? Without going too much in depth. Oh my goodness. The first book that I read was Icebreaker by someone, and it was 432 pages. And I liked it for the most part. I'm trying to remember what star value. Oh, 3.75. That's what I rated it, because I think I liked most of it. The female main character kind of bothered me at some points because she seemed a little I'm just a little clueless in some points, because I feel like if you've been ice skating for that long, you should know how many calories your body kind of needs, and also should notice when a guy is fully trying to take advantage of you and things like that. But overall, I thought it was a cute book. There were points that I thought were a bit too long, but overall, cute book. I will be reading the second and third book at least. The second book apparently does not take place at the college. It takes place in the summer. And then the third book, I just really want to read it because Henry, and if you've read the book, you know why. The second book I read in January was Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I really enjoyed it for the most part. It was 513 pages. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, I rated it 4 stars, and basically just because, again, the female main character kind of annoyed me at some points. I know she was kind of young, like she's 17, I think, in the majority of it, and sometimes she kind of bothered me because she almost, felt like she was trying to be more of a victim than she actually was, but also thinking that she deserved things that maybe she needed to work for more. Yes, there were many things that were wrong with the government and things like that, but also like that's kind of how the book was being portrayed. But overall, really liked it. I want to continue the series, which you'll see. But yeah, and then the third book I read was 627 pages. I read, I think it was Saving Six. It's the third book in the Books of Tommen series. I have been telling people that it was my palette cleanser from the space themes, but some people have said that it's not quite a palette cleanser because it's very heavy. Definitely read the trigger warnings. It deals with abuse, and drug abuse and things like that, so read the trigger warnings. But I love that book. I think I rated it 4.75. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm not going into details about that book because kind of it happened. I don't know. Choose if you want to read it. I'm not going into details. It's very heavy. And then the fourth book that I read was, Starsight. I don't know why. And that is the second book in the Skyward series. I enjoyed it both more and less. Like technically the star rating is higher, but I think it's because I enjoyed some of the development of the character, but also I feel like I can't say anything because then it might give away details of the first book, and I do think you need to read the first book. But I think I like it more just because of the development of the main character. And yeah, so I enjoyed that one. Then the fifth book I read was Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I gave that a 4-star rating. I really liked it. I think I struggle sometimes understanding bits of it just because it's a translated, I believe, literary fiction. It was written, I believe, in Japanese first. I'm not 100% sure, but there were times where it was really heavy, to be honest. But it's written in like 4 different sections, and basically Before the Coffee Gets Cold is this time traveling novel where basically if you sit at this one specific seat at this coffee shop and you drink this specific cup of coffee, you can go back. Well, I guess you can time travel, and basically you have to finish the coffee before the coffee gets cold in order to get back to the present. And so there's a few different rules that you have to follow, and it's these different groups of people that, one singular person can go back at a time, I believe, but like these different groups of people that you see their stories. It's very, like, it's 50 pages each story, basically. The first one deals with this boyfriend and girlfriend, the second one deals with the husband and wife, the third one is sisters, and the fourth one is, I can't think of it right now. I just finished it like 2 days ago. The fourth one, Mother and Child. It's heavy, it deals with grief, it deals with, grief, sickness, go into it. I don't know if there's trigger warnings that you can look up, but I would look them up if you can. Grief and sickness are 2 of the main trigger warnings that I can think of right now. I really enjoyed it though, so yeah. I think the only reason it was 4 stars is because it was a little short, but also sometimes it was hard for me to understand. I think that's just because I might have been trying to read it too quickly. That's another issue I have, is I like to read really quickly, and sometimes I can miss things. But anyway, overall, it was a really good book, and I am thinking about reading the other stories that kind of go along with this storyline, I guess. And then I'm currently reading The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I can't tell you much about it just because I've barely started. involves this personal assistant of this guy named Aiden. He's a football player, and I don't know if you've heard anything about Mariana Zapata, you'd know that she writes slow burn, and I am 50% of the way in, and it's most definitely a slow burn because I don't even know if the characters like each other yet. So basically that is it about the books I've read in January or am finishing reading in January. We'll see when I actually finish the book I'm currently reading, but overall I think I will finish it this month. I don't know if I'll start any other books this month. We'll see what happens. And the books that I want to read in February, I'm going to try. I've only written down 4 of them because, to be honest, I'll probably read more than that, but I'm kind of a mood reader. These are just the ones I'm thinking about. That one is happening in January. The first one is Redeeming Six. It's the 4th book in that book's the Boys of Tommen series. I just really want to read it. So far, I think I tried to get it with the library. They didn't currently have the Kindle version, so I couldn't get it on my Kindle, and I personally pretty much only read on my Kindle. Sometimes I'll read a physical book, but I haven't in a while because Kindle works the best for me given when I read and things like that. So I hope to read that one this month if I can. Then the other 2 books that I want to read this month are Cytonic and Defiant, which are the 3rd and 4th books in the Skyward series. And basically that's all of the books that I kind of have laid out. I might read another Mariana Zapata book because so far I'm really enjoying this one. I also might read another Brandon Sanderson one that isn't the Skyward series. I'm thinking about reading The Tress of Emerald Seas. I think that's the title of it, but it's hard to know when, given the library, because I'm having some difficulties with Libby just because they don't seem to have the Kindle versions, and I would like the Kindle version. So yeah, basically that is all that I have about books. Yeah. It is obviously a few days later. I forgot to film for a while, or got busy. I kind of forgot. I don't know. But now I wanted to basically talk about my goals in February and kind of my plan for February. And so with that, let me find it in my bullet journal. I'll probably end up showing it, like overlaying some of me talking, of me filling this out. But basically I categorize my goals into 5 different categories, I guess. Academics, finance, fitness and health, personal, and YouTube. So in academics, also a lot of these are repeats because like I tend to kind of repeat some of my goals because they continue to be goals. So like academics, study for at least 1 hour Monday through Friday. I just want to make sure I'm keeping a good momentum and making sure I study for at least 1 hour allows that. I would like to make flashcards for my classes. This is mostly because I have some exams coming up, but also just I think it's a good idea regardless. I would like to try and get 1 week ahead. I know that's kind of hard depending on how many assignments we have, but I would like to. And then in finances, I would like to save $100. This goes to like a annual goal. I want to save $100 a month, which adds up to $1,200 by the end of the year. I need to make my February budget, and I would like to stick with said budget. And then in fitness and health, I want to meal prep weekly. I kind of started doing that when I got back here, but I'd like to continue doing that. Drink at least 48 ounces of water daily. It shouldn't be too hard. I just have to drink my water bottle twice. I believe it has 28 ounces. Or not 28. I believe it has 24 ounces in a water bottle. So as long as I drink that twice, it should be fine. And then I want to start one of my workout programs. I planned out a running one and also a weightlifting one. Of course, like things might change, but it's kind of the goal. I'd like to at least get started on it. And then think about 75 soft. I keep seeing people do 75 hard and it doesn't quite align, so I'm wondering if I can create something like that that'll be more aligned to me and get me motivated, because I see these things and I feel motivated, but it doesn't align with me. Like, I don't drink. I also am not the age to drink, but like I don't drink, so the no alcohol thing is kind of a given for me. Or like the diet thing, I don't think that would be good for me because I already struggle to find foods and things like that. I would like to like gain weight personally. I think it would be good for me. So like different things. I just want to think about it this month and figure out kind of what would make sense if I do something like that. What would be the best habits to implement and things like that. Personal, I have research therapists. I really need to do that. I had a therapist early last school year, and then over time I kind of that therapist was through school, so that relationship had to end. So I need to look into therapists for the future and hopefully ones that can continue past school years. Read 8 to 9 books. This is another one that kind of goes basically just along with me wanting an annual goal of reading 100 books this year. I know that may seem like a ton to some people, but also seem like very little to other people. I think it's the most reasonable goal for me, given how much I like to read, and then also the fact that I'm a college student, so sometimes I just can't spend all day reading, regardless if I want to. So read 8 to 9 books a month would pretty much get me there. And then YouTube, I'd like to upload at least twice this month, and I want to plan a channel refresh. I just kind of want the banner and profile pictures to align more with my current self. And yeah, basically that's about it. So those are all of my goals. My plan for this month is basically to get into a good routine while back here, really work on my academics so that I don't feel like I'm falling behind, and then also health. Health is a big thing this month, I think. So those are the main things. I also would really like to work on my YouTube. I know, yeah. Anyway, that's about it. So now that I'm done with all of that, I am going to let you go. And I think the only things I really filmed that I didn't explain is I like to clean every month. I clean every week, but every month I try and do a slightly bigger clean. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes I just do my weekly reset, and that's good. And then I did a hair mask this week, mostly because of my new hair. I dyed it.
Usually a baddie, but today I'm just get on your knees, prepare to bow down, yeah. Can't you see I'm wearing the crown, yeah. Clap your hands and scream it real, oh yeah. Usually a baddie, but today I'm just Sometimes I want to pack up all my things and move away. Paris, London, maybe even LA. But it's not far enough, far enough, far enough for me. Yeah, it gets kinda tough, kinda tough, kinda tough.
Anyway, so basically that's it for my February reset. I hope you all have a great month ahead and have had a great month, hopefully. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!